Is there ever a justifiable reason for war, especially when the lives of innocent civilians are at stake? This question has echoed through the ages, a haunting reminder of the human cost of conflict. As we explore the concept of war and its morality, one cannot help but ponder the impact on those who bear no arms, those whose only crime is being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Take, for instance, the Israel-Gaza conflict, a battlefield where the warriors are not always the ones in the line of fire, a place where hospitals become targets, and the innocent become collateral damage in a war they didn't choose. Here, the fight against terrorism morphs into something more sinister, as missiles and tanks take aim not just at militants, but at the very infrastructure that supports life itself. The morality of war is a complex, multifaceted issue, one that invites us to examine our values, our humanity, and the world we want to leave behind for future generations. In the heat of conflict, the lines between combating terrorism and causing harm to innocent people can become blurred. It prompts us to ask, when does the pursuit of peace become an act of war itself? Diving into the heart of the matter, let's examine the Israel-Gaza conflict. The narrative is punctuated by moments of profound sadness and loss. One such instance dates back to 2009. A Palestinian doctor, Izzeldin Abuelash, mourned the tragic loss of his 3 daughters and a niece as a result of an Israeli strike in Gaza. Israel, in response, acknowledged the unfortunate event, attributing it to one of its tanks during a 3-week offensive against Palestinian militants. Now, the term offensive here is crucial. Israel defended this act, not as a mistake, not as a misfire, but as an act of war. This stance held up in a lower court in 2018, effectively negating the possibility of damages claims. But this did not deter the heartbroken father. Abuelash, now residing in Canada, continues his appeal to Israel's Supreme Court, seeking not just compensation but an apology. He yearns for recognition of the wrong done to his family and hopes to channel any compensation towards the expansion of the Daughters for Life Foundation he established in memory of his lost loved ones. This incident, though singular, is not isolated. It's a thread in a larger tapestry of conflict and loss. It's part of a narrative that raises hard questions about the nature of war and the price of conflict. It's a piece of a puzzle that, when put together, paints a picture of a conflict that has taken a staggering toll both in terms of lives lost and the moral standing of those involved. The toll of this conflict, both in lives and in moral standing, is indeed staggering. The conflict has far-reaching effects, extending even to the healthcare system in Gaza. The echoes of war have exacerbated an already dire health situation. Amidst the ongoing turmoil, COVID-19 cases have surged dramatically, pushing Gaza's hospitals to their limits. With around 70% of intensive care unit beds occupied, the healthcare system is stretched thin. The blockade, led by Israel and supported by Egypt, has created a bottleneck for critical supplies and equipment. This has not only limited Gaza's ability to respond to the pandemic, but has also impeded its capacity to identify highly infectious COVID-19 variants. Moreover, the blockade has led to an acute shortage of tests, potentially inflating the daily positivity rate, which has reached as high as 43%. Compounding the crisis is the slow pace of vaccination. Despite receiving over 100,000 doses, a mere 34,000 people have been vaccinated. This is a stark contrast to Israel, which has seen a successful vaccination rollout. Yet for the people of Gaza, their fight against the virus is mired in the shadows of conflict. In the midst of war, the health crisis in Gaza adds another layer to the suffering of its people. As we reflect on the issues discussed, we are left to ponder on the gravity of these circumstances. We've delved into the complex morality of war, a subject that is as old as humanity itself. We've explored the stark facts and figures surrounding the Israel-Gaza conflict, a conflict that has left deep scars on both sides. And we've examined the impact of this conflict on Gaza's healthcare system, a system already stretched thin and now pushed to its limits. The question we need to ask ourselves is, what are the moral implications of these actions? If the goal is to fight against terrorism, then what does it mean when the methods used result in the suffering of innocent civilians? What does it mean when hospitals, the very places designed to preserve life, become targets? We must consider the cost of war, not just in monetary terms but in human lives. The lives of fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters, the lives of those who had dreams and hopes just like us. The lives of those who had no part in the conflict but bore the brunt of its consequences. When the dust of conflict settles, it is the innocent who pay the highest price. Can we truly say that any war is worth such a cost?